Hey, what's up you guys? Ryan Haury here with another poker vlog. This time I'm at Motor City, Detroit, playing the Motor City 313. It's a $313,000 buying event for 600 bucks, multiple days. I'm really excited. And this is the first time in Detroit I've seen a really good tournament in the 18, 19 years I've been playing. So I'm pretty excited about this. So I'll see you guys on break. All right, on first break right now, I have 16K in chips. Starting stack was 30K, so not doing too hot. There was two big hands against the guy on my left. He took half my stack. The second hand that was notable was I had 8-6 of diamonds on the button. He came along in the small blind. Flop was 7-5-5, 1 diamond, so I had up and down straight draw. He checked, I bet a little bit small, I think because he doesn't really hit that board too much. He calls anyways. Turn is a king of diamonds, which is really good for my range, although it can hit him sometimes too. But obviously I have an up and down straight draw and a flush draw. So he checks, I bet a bigger, about 66% pot, I think. I bet 2,500 and he re-raised to 6,000. So I think I was getting enough equity to, or enough odds to call there. So I called, unfortunately I bricked out on the river and he bet and I folded. So yeah, those two hands, he took about half my stack. So wasn't too happy about that, but yeah, we'll go get them here in the coming up. So I'll talk to you guys later. All right, on second break here, I busted my first bullet and I rebought. Just nothing went my way at all. Just missing a lot of draws and semi bluffs didn't go through. So yeah, doing at 20K right now on the second stack and 30K was starting stack. So again, this bullet's not doing so hot either, but I'll talk to you guys soon. All right, just busted my second bullet today. Did not go well at all. Nothing really worked for me. I 3-bet jammed ace queen into ace king for 20 big blinds. So busto. Yeah, just a rough day. I'm gonna come back tomorrow for the last day one and kind of start fresh there. Honestly, I don't. I had COVID a couple weeks back, and the fog, the brain fog, is real. Like I feel like I've kind of. My brain like slowed down a little bit. I legit, last break, I went back to my table. It was not my table. I went to the wrong table. I could not find my actual table. And that's happened to me a couple times since I've had COVID. So I hope that goes away because I feel like I'm getting stupider. But well, I'll talk to you guys tomorrow then. All right, next day for me here at the Motor City 313. It's day 1C. The last time to fire a couple more bullets. But yeah, I'm pretty excited today. Yesterday was pretty darn rough between my brain fog and making mistakes and not playing well and just being card dead overall. It's pretty darn frustrating. So I'm excited to start fresh today, and yeah, I'll see you guys on break. All right, on first break here, not doing too hot, kind of like yesterday, just card dead, nothing really working for me. I'm down to 24K from a 30K starting stack. The one interesting hand that I wasn't even in was there was a player that bet 5,500 on the river. The second guy thought he said 1,500, so he said raise to 5,000, and the other guy didn't hear the raise and he showed his hand, thinking the guy just called. So the floor came over. It was a big controversy, a lot of fighting. The floor determined that the guy that said raise had to make it 11,000 to double the 5,500, and the other guy was fighting, the second guy was fighting that the other guy showed his hand before he said call, so his hand should be mucked, but the floor just gave him a warning. So that was the only entertaining hand. But yeah, nothing going so far for me though, and I'll talk to you guys on next break. All right, on the second break here at the Motor City 313. I'm doing okay at, I'm at 37,000 right now, which is just above starting stack, not too bad. The only two notable hands in this whole 2 hours, I had ace-3 of diamonds on the big blind, the low jack raised and I called. The flop was 5-7-8 and it was the 5 of diamonds, and I checked. He bet and I check raised. That board is really good for the big blind range. I'm out of breath. I ran to my car again. That board was really good for the big blind range, and I had one over and backdoor straight and flush draws. So went for it and it worked. He folded, so that was a nice little pot. And then the very next hand, someone raised to like 2,000. Pretty early position. The button called, and I squeezed for about 7,500. One guy called. I had pocket kings in the small blind, and the flop was like pretty dry. It was like queen 7-3, 2 diamonds, and I just down bet like quarter pot, and he just insta-mucked. So gotta catch my breath. Yeah, so it's just those 2 hands out of the whole 2 hours. Other than that, just card dead as usual. But yeah, those 2 back-to-back hands, I was down to like 20,000. So those 2 hands alone got me up to 37,000. So that was pretty nice. So hopefully we keep going here, and see you guys in the next break. All right, on dinner break right now, doing much better than I have been doing, so I'm feeling pretty good right now. I'm up to about 130,000. Starting stack was 30,000, so really good, really good, which is nice because I've been so card dead for before that. So the big hands were, I won a couple small pots, got up to about 40,000. The big hand was, there was a raise, I re-raised with kings. He jammed 40 big blinds with ace king, and I won. So kings beat ace king. That was a huge pot. That got me up to about 90,000. Then another big pot, I raised it. I think I was like low jack, mid position-ish, with king queen of spades. The cutoff to my left called, and the big blind called as well. Flop was ace queen 5, so I have middle pair. It went checked around. I decided not to bet because there wasn't a spade on the board to kind of help me out with some backdoor stuff, just in case it got a little dirty. And I was out of position, obviously, and there was an ace on the board. Even though that hit my range pretty good, I decided to check it back anyways. Turn was a king of diamonds, so I have 2 pair now, kings and queens. Big blind leads big. He bets 10K into a pot about like 12K. I call, cutoff folds, and then the river is a 7 of clubs. So there's a straight out there, or 3 cards straight, and then 3 cards to a flush. So the big blind bets 10K again into, now the pot's like 40K or something, so pretty small. I don't want to raise here, even though I have a pretty solid 2 pair, because obviously I could be beat by like an ace 7, 2 pair, a flush, a straight. I don't want to reopen the action for him to like jam on me or something. So I called. He had ace jack, so he just had a top pair, and yeah, another big pot. So yeah, like I said, I'm up to 130, which is awesome, and yeah, talk to you guys soon. Okay, it's been a long day. It's been about 10 hours or so. I'm exhausted. I'm at 150,000, which is still pretty good, about the same stacks I had last break. Again, out of breath. Damn COVID. Post-COVID. But yeah, basically, huge roller coaster. Some guy ran jacks into my kings. I got to 180K. Then a couple hands, like I have pocket queens from the small blind, 3-bet them. The flop came ace king blank. It's like I pretty much just give up and check fold. Ace kings, I should be range betting that, but you know, I'm just exploitatively, I know the guy's got an ace, so I'm just done with the hand. And then another big hand was I had queen jack for a middle position suited. I raised. There was a limper that limped first under the gun, so I raised. He called. Flop was queen 8-5, 2 spades. He checked. I bet small. He called. The turn was like kind of a blank, a 7. I didn't expect that to hit him too much. He checked. I bet about half pot, and he ended up just ripping it all in for like, had me covered for like 60 bigs, huge jam. And it just kind of smelled like, usually when somebody limps a lot from early position, weaker players will have middle pocket pairs. So a 5, 8, and a 7 out there, I'm pretty sure I'm just smoked, so I just ended up mucking. Queen jack's not that strong either, so I probably could have just checked back on the flop, since I don't think I could get 2 streets of value anyways, so kind of cost me. But then the hand right before break, someone jammed ace queen into my ace king. and that got me back up to 150. So I was down to like 90,000, got back to 150. So it was a huge hand. So there's like 20 spots until the money in day 2, or at least an hour. I think there's 2 more levels too. So it's either an hour left or 20 players. So really close. Gonna really suck if I bubble this, but hopefully I just didn't just shake myself. I'll talk to you guys soon. All right, we bagged. Awesome. We made it day 2 again, which is really cool. It's an accomplishment of sorts. I appreciate when I make day 2s. I don't make many of them, so it's cool when I do. So I was really pumped at first because I thought, or I just assumed, wrongly assumed that some tournaments, if you make it day 2, you automatically make the money, but this wasn't the case. They said probably 200 are coming back tomorrow and maybe 150 get paid. So we got still a long way until the money. Pretty much since last break, I won a couple, lost a couple, no big deal. I think I had like 161. I think I bagged for 161. So it's about 30 big blinds, maybe. So not too bad. But yeah, start tomorrow at 12:15, and I'll see you guys then. Everyone, day 2 here, first break, off to a great start. I started the day with 161,000. I just won 2 big pots. I'm up to 290 now. Great start. The 2 big hands, I had ace king with the ace of hearts. I 3-bet from the small blind, got a call. The board was queen 3-5, heart. So I have the nut flush draw. I bet small, min bet kind of thing. He re-raises. I made 10K. The pot was like 30, 40. And he made it 30K. I called. Turn was the ace of clubs. I checked. He checked. I could tell he was like uncomfortable, so I know he hated that ace. River was like a blank. It was like a 7 or something. And I bet really small. I was trying to get called from pretty weak hands. He had about maybe 70,000 back, and I bet about half the stack, about 37,000 to a pot of like, I don't know, 70, 80 or something like that. So he ended up tank folding, unfortunately, but that was a big pot. And then the hand right before break, I had ace 7 and the button raises. I was on the big blind. I just called. The flop was 4, 5, 7. So it was great for the big blind range, and I decided to lead, so I led small. He called. The turn was a 3. So 4 cards straight, all you need is a 6 to have a straight. Another good card for the big blind range. So I go big. I go about maybe 66% pot or something like that. 2/3 pot. And he tank folded, and he showed 9s. So he folded an overpair. So I'm really proud of that play. I didn't think I was that crushed, but I was just kind of playing my range. Like, it was really good for my big blind range, and I had top pair, good kicker, but obviously I want to get any like ace highs, king highs to fold out because I don't want a bunch of overcards to hit the river. So that was the other reason I bet big. But yeah, double my stack pretty much, and doing well. So I'll talk to you guys next break.
Everybody else is making money. There's no
All right, headphones are off. You know what that means. I busted, unfortunately. Pretty much just poker happened. One of the big hands I lost a lot of money on. I had queen jack offsuit from the cutoff. I raised, button called, big blind called. Flop was queen 7, 3, 2 clubs. The big blind actually led small. He bet 16K into a pot about 50K. I had about 35 big blinds to start. The hand, and I called. I considered raising, but with someone behind me and kind of a weak jack, it's kind of pointless. The button calls. Turn is a 7. The big blind checks. I check. Button bets 40K into about 80K, I would say, maybe 60K. The big blind folds. I call. I tanked for a little bit because I'm obviously not beating much. I'm only beating like queen 10 suited. I'm most likely being beat by king queen offsuit or suited, or king queen off, I guess too. But I Probably could have just folded there exploitatively, but I decided to call there, turn, because he does have some bluffs in him with the 2 clubs on there. I think I still have to call there. River was a 7. I checked. He bet like 120K into like 160K or something. Pretty big bet. And I just don't think I'm beating anything at this point, so I think I have to fold, even though I'm beating bluffs. But I just don't think he's going to do that into 2 players. So, yeah, I think I just made the right fold. And he actually told me later that he had pocket 3s for a set of 3s. So, ran top pair into a set of 3s. That's pretty standard poker. A couple of hands later, I had 13 big blinds. I jammed jacks. And as you know, jacks are the worst hand in poker. You can't win with them. You always play them wrong. Ran into ace queen. Flop was safe. Turn was safe. And ace of spades. Prettiest card in the deck on the river. So pretty painful. 1,400 players. 650,000 prize pool, 113K up top. I finished 123rd for 1050, so 1,050. Unfortunately, I fired 3 bullets in here, so I'm still down 800. But that's what gambling's all about. You got to fire that money to get that big money up top. Anything could have happened. I could have sun run and just ran really good and played really good and could have won the thing. So, but yeah, I had a great time and great talking with you guys. I'll see you guys at the next vlog in probably MSPT or Vegas. We'll see. But talk to you guys soon.